Visit with our good friend Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show coming up tomorrow night, high school football. And Stephen, how are you?
Well, I'm great. How are you this morning, Chad?
I'm amazed that Rick Perry used to be a wrestler.
Well, there's been some people wrestling for playoff spots as we go into the final week of the district season. I didn't know he was a wrestler either. I thought that'd mess up his hair.
You would think so. That's going to be a question I have to ask him. How did he keep the hair so nice? Yeah, a lot. This final week before playoffs, correct?
Final week of the regular season. Teams wrapping up, and we've got, in our area, in your area there in Lubbock, a lot of things have already been decided, but there's still some exciting games, some district championship games going on. It's going to be a great week for football. Let's start out and look a little bit at what happened last week. Amarillo High and Tascosa played up in Amarillo, a key game in that District 2 of 6A, and Amarillo won that one. Friendship ended Coronado's season with a 61-20 loss for Coronado. They finish up at 3-7 on the year, 0-4, and they are eliminated from the playoffs. And this week you've got Friendship actually tonight taking on Amarillo High School up in Amarillo. And this will be for a district championship in that District 2 race. Amarillo 9-0 on the season. Friendship comes in at 7-2. Both of them 3-0 in district play. And it really is just about a district championship and nothing else, because the playoffs are already decided, as Amarillo High and Tascosa will go out as the large school representatives, respectively 1 and 2, and then Friendship and Lubbock Monterey will go into the playoffs in Division 2. As 1 and 2 respectively there. So, but it's still a big game for Friendship, and probably going to be the toughest game that they've played so far on the year. When we look at District 4 of 5A, and that's the district there with Lubbock Cooper. Last week, Abilene Cooper comes in at 2-6, 1-1 in district play, and they upset the Cooper Pirates 52-42. And then Plainview won last week over San Angelo Lakeview 53-21, and Lubbock High was off. This district's already wrapped up as well. With Lubbock Cooper as far as the playoff seeds. Now, we'll see tonight if Abilene Cooper beats San Angelo Lakeview tomorrow night, then Lubbock Cooper is going to share that district championship with them. If Plainview beats Lubbock High, which is very likely, Plainview is also going to claim a share of that district championship. But again, as far as the playoff seeding, that's already done with Plainview going out as the number 1 seed out of the large schools, and Abilene Cooper number 2. And then you look in the small school, Lubbock Cooper is the number 1 seed, and San Angelo Lakeview will be the number 2 seed coming out of that one. When we look at District 1 of 4A, and that's the district with Lubbock Estacada, Estacada's finished their season. This is their bye week, as they get a week off, actually, before they go into the playoffs. And everything else in that district, Borger, Levelland, Seminole, and Pampa all sitting at 1-2 on the season. So we're going to have to wait until tomorrow night to find out who's going to make it out. And I'm not familiar with all the different tiebreakers and scenarios in that one, but it's a mess, to say the least. The thing is, Estacada was 8-2. They're 4-0 in district. Everybody else in that district right now has a 3-6 record and 1-2 in district play. So I don't know how optimistic you are about your playoff hopes when that's your record going in, but they've got to take. There'll be 3 of those 4 teams that are going to make it into the playoffs. When we get down into District 1 of 3A Division 1, big game with Littlefield and Muleshoe playing for a district championship tomorrow night. Both teams 6-3 on the year, 4-0 in district, and then Childress and Freona playing for seeding in the other 2 spots. River Road and Dimmitt already eliminated, but that's one of our big games there is Muleshoe and Littlefield, 2 teams that struggled early in their non-district season. I think both young teams still trying to kind of find their way, but as they've gone on, they've gotten better, and that ought to be a dandy of a ball game to finish up the regular season. District 2 has Shallowater and Brownfield. Denver City and Kermit will make the playoffs. Seeding is still a bit up in the air, as we have to wait and make sure that if Denver City does what they should do and beat Slayton, and if Brownfield does what they should do and beat Kermit, then it's pretty simple. It'll be Shallowater, Brownfield, Denver City, and Kermit 1, 2, 3, 4. But there could be some number crunching and things that happen if there's an upset pulled tomorrow night. But that district pretty much tied up. Get down to District 1 of 3A Division 2. Idalou has to they get to host the Spearman Lynx for a district championship game. Spearman is 9-0 on the year, 4-0 in district. Idalou sitting at 7-2 and 4-0, and that is a big ball game for them to claim district championship and also for seeding in the playoffs. And then Amarillo, Highland Park, and Tulia also play for the 3 and 4 seed. The winner of that game will get the 3 seed, with the loser getting 4. Lubbock Roosevelt eliminated from the playoffs. They play Sanford Fritch, who's 1 and 8 and 0 and 4. So I think Roosevelt can get one more win and finish with a 6 and 4 record. But they're playing just to have good momentum going into an off season and hopefully improve for next year. When you look at District 2 of 3A Division 2, Abernathy's won a district championship. That's locked up. The big game in that district is Floyd Ada taking on New Deal. Both these teams will be in the playoffs, but this is for seeding second seed versus third seed. Olton and Hell Center play, and they're already eliminated from playoff contention, and both teams 2-7 on the year. So another one where you just like to get a win and have a good taste in your mouth as you head into the off season. District 3 of 2A Division 2 has Crosbyton as your district champion. They're 9-0 on the year. They take on the Lockney team that's 5-4 and 2-2 in district. After that, it gets really murky because you have Clarendon taking on Memphis. Both of those teams 2-2 in district play, and then Quanah at 2-2 taking on an 0-4 Rawls team. So 4 teams there with 2-2 record, and depending on some outcome of some games, that could get a little dicey. With only 3 teams going to the playoffs, I don't know exactly how that plays out, but Crosbyton certainly looks to be poised to make a big run. And then when you look at the District 4, that's Morton taking on Sundown, and Plains at 0-9 taking on Seagraves 9-0. Smyer finished up their district record at 2-2. So if everything goes as I think it will, you'll have Seagraves, Sundown, and Smyer in the playoffs. But if Morton pulls an upset, then we have to get the abacus out and start calculating because it goes into the plus, minus, and all those type of things.
Visiting with Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show. Stephen, taking a look around at the games, what are 1 or 2 of those games that people need to go to?
I'll tell you what, that game up in Amarillo tonight between Friendship and Amarillo High School has the potential to be a really good game. 2 teams that have a tradition. They both know how to win. They both expect to be in the playoffs and make runs in the playoffs. That should be a great game. I'm really excited to see Idalou and Spearman. Spearman having to make that long drive. They're undefeated on the year, but Idalou is going to be the toughest team they've played so far, and I'm anxious to see that game. I think those are the 2 that really stand out. And then Littlefield and Muleshoe is always a good football game. All
right, Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show. We'll visit with you again next week as we get prepared for playoffs. And, of course, you can listen to the West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show on our sister station, 1340 The Fan. And if you're driving throughout West Texas, you can tune into it as well on many other radio stations. Stephen, thank you very much.
Hey, Chad, thank you. And, hey, be sure and update me on Rick Perry and the wrestling thing.
I will. I mean, I want to know what his record was. You know, like maybe who his main, I don't know.
His nemesis was?
Yeah, who was his nemesis? He had to have a nemesis
out
there.
And was he a good guy or a bad guy?
And what kind of costume? I don't know if we want to see Rick Perry in that costume.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm done with it. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
That's Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show. How about Rick Perry, WWE wrestler? You think they messed that up in Philadelphia? I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere on his Wikipedia.